Ladies and gentlemen, we have breaking news out of Washington, D.C. President Donald Trump has just signed a law that could shake the foundation of the U.S. judicial system and rip the mask off the Biden regime's biggest secret yet. In a very bold and historic move, President Trump has signed a landmark immigration law that shuts down rogue judges who try to block deportations, even of convicted murderers, rapists, and pedophiles. No more interference, no more delay, no more hiding behind due process for criminals who never respected it in the first place. And just as the ink dried on this new law, the DOJ dropped a political grenade targeting top Biden officials in their now exploding Autopen scandal. Guys, we're talking whistleblowers, secret pardons, and allegations of stolen presidency. They use the power of the presidency to sign orders without the president even knowing. Like, that's not just fraud. Trump says it's treason, and the DOJ may agree. Do you think that this is treason? So today, I want to share with you guys exactly what's in this new law. I want to share how it was designed to crush judicial sabotage and how the Biden White House may have been signing off on government orders behind a cognitively impaired president's back using a machine. I know it sounds crazy, but guys, this is not just politics. This is about who runs the country. And more importantly, whether the law still matters. So stick with me, because by the end of this clip today, by the end of this video, I think you're going to really understand why this may very well be the most important week of President Trump's presidency yet, okay? So let's go ahead and start with the spark that lit this whole fire here. A single federal judge tried to override the will of the American people and block President Trump's order to deport illegal immigrants convicted of some of the most horrifying crimes imaginable. Now, if you guys appreciate the daily news updates, please take a second, hit the like button for the video. It helps us get the truth out. And be sure to subscribe to the channel. Judge Brian Murphy halted the deportation of 8 illegal immigrants, each one convicted of brutal crimes. Yes, these were not just border jumpers. They were convicted predators. And instead of removing them, the judge demanded that they get due process. Now think about that. What kind of judge would do something like that, right? The deportation flight was literally forced to land in Djibouti, waiting on some courtroom clerical theater, while American families are left asking, why are we protecting criminals instead of protecting citizens? I'm pretty sure you guys are wondering that too, right? Congresswoman Nancy Mace, she didn't hold back. She said, and I quote, "They didn't want due process on the way in. They shouldn't get it on the way out." And she's right. I mean, is Nancy Mace right or not? I mean, she slammed the judge for overstepping his role, declaring that he's not the Secretary of State, not the president, and not God. I mean, heck, is the judge God, right? And she's calling this exactly what it is: a national security crisis, a sovereignty crisis, and a judicial overreach of epic proportions. But here's the part they didn't expect. Trump struck back. He wasn't just this wasn't just a press release and a rally speech. He signed the bill, and buried in that bill, a legal mechanism designed to shut down rogue judges and put enforcement power back where it belongs, in the hands of the president and his border agents. Now, we need to talk about how Trump's one big beautiful bill delivers ICE the firepower, the legal firepower to deport criminal illegals without judicial sabotage. And wait until you hear what the DOJ just uncovered about Biden's Autopen scandal. Now, trust me, guys, you're going to want to hear this. Now, don't wait until you're locked into the wrong Medicare plan. One call before enrollment could literally change everything. Look at Lisa Taylor. Lisa Taylor saved $1,000 a year. Sharon Bertusik, she went from getting kicked off Medicare to 0 premiums, free meds, co-pays, dropped to $20. That's what Chapter does. They compare every plan, they uncover all sorts of hidden benefits, and they help real people save real money. So give our friends at Chapter a call right now. Their number is 909-563-8279, or you can, better yet, visit them on the web at askchapter.org/Ron. Link in the description down below. Do not let the deadline pass by you. So, how did President Trump respond to a federal judge putting violent, illegal criminals above national security? I think it's pretty simple. He signed a bill that puts the power back in the hands of the American people. It's called the One Big Beautiful Bill, and it's exactly that. This sweeping legislation doesn't just make Trump's tax cuts permanent. It also delivers a direct legislative counterattack to judicial interference in immigration cases. So here's what it is. New authority for ICE and DHS to carry out deportations of violent non-citizens without waiting for activist judges. So this bill, it limits injunctions, speeds up removals, and it introduces mandatory deportation triggers for those with serious criminal records. In plain English, if you're here illegally and you want to do horrible things, you're gone. No more delays, no more courtroom games, no more judges siding with criminals over citizens. And let's not forget, this was all made possible by using the same reconciliation process that Democrats used under Biden to push their socialist agenda. Trump just flipped it and used it to deliver border justice. So while the media is out here screaming super loud about this due process thing, this new law screams one thing a lot louder than that. Enforce the law, protect the people, stop the invasion. But that's just one front in Trump's war to restore order, because while the border was getting overrun, Biden's team may have been running the country, running the presidency behind his back, literally signing orders without his knowledge. So what the DOJ just revealed about the Autopen scandal will blow your mind. And it's not, guys, this could land top White House officials in some serious legal trouble. This Biden Autopen scandal, the fraud, the treason, it's unreal. So while President Trump was busy restoring order at the border, something a lot more sinister was unraveling inside Biden's White House. The DOJ is now actively investigating a shocking claim that Biden's closest advisors were using a mechanical signature tool known as the Autopen to sign off on executive orders, pardons, and even classified directives without President Biden's knowledge. Now, think about this for a second. The legal power of the presidency used by unelected staffers, that's not just shady. That's a constitutional crisis. The DOJ probe is focusing on three key figures. They're looking at Ron Klain, Anita Dunn, and Bob Bauer. A whistleblower from inside the Biden 2020 campaign says that they were the gatekeepers of the Autopen, controlling what got signed, when, and for whose benefit. Now, this wasn't about convenience. It's really being compared to giving someone power of attorney over the presidency. Imagine pardons being issued without the president even fully comprehending what was happening. Deputy Attorney General Ed Martin, he wasn't mincing words. He says misuse of the Autopen could amount to fraud, and if it influenced pardons or policy without Biden's consent, possibly treason. Do you think that these individuals should be put behind bars or worse for treason? And if Biden's own cognitive decline made him incapable of even understanding what was being signed, then we're talking about a deliberate scheme to mislead the public and steal executive power behind the scenes. So we need to walk through this whole bombshell testimony from the whistleblower inside of Biden's own team and Trump's fiery response that just went viral, guys. If you're just now joining the live, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Ladies and gentlemen, the whistleblower is real, and they're not just any old insider. This source comes from the top ranks of Biden's 2020 campaign. They claim to have witnessed firsthand how Ron Klain, Anita Dunn, and Bob Bauer weren't just managing communications or scheduling meetings. They were deciding what executive orders to sign, what pardons to issue, and when to use the Autopen to bypass a president who, according to them, wasn't even competent enough to fully understand what was even being authorized. Now, remember, Remember the sudden wave of presidential pardons that just dropped before Christmas? I feel like it was like thousands of them, wasn't it? The whistleblower says Biden didn't even know what was being signed. That mass release may not have been authorized by the man whose name actually appeared on the paper. You see where I'm going here, right? President Trump isn't holding back. He says the Autopen scandal is treason at the highest level, that this wasn't just a legal loophole. It was a coordinated coup to seize control of the White House. In his latest address, Trump vowed to expose what he calls the deep state forgery machine and make it clear he's coming for every last person who touched that pen. Now, let me ask you this, guys. If unelected officials can sign presidential orders without oversight, and if rogue judges can block the removal of convicted murderers, who's really running the country here, right? So what we're witnessing isn't just a fight over immigration or some scandal. This is a full-blown war between the branches of government, a collision between the executive power granted under Article 2 and a judiciary that some argue has gone completely rogue. Trump's new law, this is a clear attempt to reassert the president's authority, especially when it comes to securing the border and removing dangerous foreign criminals. But judges like Brian Murphy have decided that they know better. When a judge can stop the deportation of murderers and convicted illegal immigrants and force a Trump-ordered flight to land in Djibouti instead of delivering justice, what we have is not judicial review. This is judicial sabotage. And Nancy Mace, she put it plainly. No judge has the right to override a president's constitutional duty to defend the nation. And yet that is exactly what they've been watching happen. But don't expect the media to call it sabotage. No, of course not. They'll say, Trump's law hurts the poor. They're going to say Trump's law benefits the rich. And of course, their favorite spin, Trump threatens democracy. We've all heard those things, right? Here's the truth, though. This bill doesn't hurt American citizens. It cuts off Medicare access for illegal immigrants, not seniors, not working class Americans. And it closes loopholes that judges have been using to delay justice. Meanwhile, the media is doing everything that they can to discredit the DOJ's Autopen investigation. They're calling it a conspiracy theory, even as documents, whistleblowers, and insider testimony continue to pile up. But it may be too late to cover up at this point, because we need to go ahead and break down what happens if this goes to Congress and the whistleblower is forced to testify on live television. Okay. So what happens next? It's pretty much the $1 million question at this point. And the answer could shake Washington, D.C. to its core. So President Trump's bill, this bold, sweeping law to take back control of the border, it's now in the hands of the Senate. Will the GOP hold the line, or will establishment Republicans try to water it down behind closed doors? Well, I'll tell you what, pressure is building from all sides. But make no mistake, the people are watching. Trump's allies are demanding this bill pass the Senate intact. Meanwhile, inside the Department of Justice, subpoenas may have already been put in motion. Deputy AG Ed Martin confirmed that letters were sent to Biden's officials, and some have already lawyered up. Whistleblower testimony, it's now on the table. So if this goes to Congress and this whistleblower speaks under oath, the entire country will see just how far the deep state went to prop up a cognitively impaired president and bypass the Constitution itself. And through all of this, guys, Trump's momentum keeps growing. This is more than a legislative win. This is a double victory, a political and legal offense that's cutting through all the noise. It's exposing the media, and it's shaking up Washington's power structure. Now, for the first time in years, the swamp is on defense. The courts are on notice. The deep state's under investigation, and the White House might finally be back in the hands of the man who was actually elected to lead it. Now, I want to hear from you guys, because this is not just a political story. It's about who we are as a country. Do you believe a judge should have the power to override a presidential deportation order, even when it involves convicted criminals? I mean, like, do you believe unelected Biden operatives should be able to sign laws, pardons, and policies behind the back of the man that they know is not fully competent? If these allegations are true, shouldn't every single person involved in this whole Autopen scandal be held accountable, indicted, investigated, arrested? Drop me some comments down below, guys. I want to know what you think about President Trump's new law, the DOJ's investigation, and whether it's finally time to clean house for good. Hit the like button, subscribe, share this video if you believe that the truth should never be silenced. Also, reach out to our friends over at Chapter. See how much money they can save you on your Medicaid or your Medicare, and we'll see you guys on the next video.